Alright, so I've been doing some shots when we were kind of building this room. So I'll put those at the start of this video, but welcome to this video. I don't think I shot an introduction. So I'm moved into a new place and I have got to set up this whole big sewing room, which is great. It's bigger than my other one, and it fits everything in really well. So I'll jump to the progress of the start, and then I'll get back to where I am now. Alright, so this is day one of moving into a new place and renovating, and I thought I would do a video showing sewing room transformation. So this is the room that will be my sewing room. It's nice and big, should be able to fit all my machines and stuff in it. And yeah, so all the carpet is going. Walls are all going to be painted. It's got a nice closet in here, which will be good. We can use for storage and everything. There was a lot of stuff left behind by the previous owner. So first step is organizing all of this, what we want to sell, what we want to keep, what we want to just chuck. And then we're going to start tearing up all the carpet as well. So this is how the sewing room's coming along. Got the undercoat on, and I went through and did some layouts last night. I think I'm going to put my computer desk there, which will come out a little bit and block the closet, but because it's roller doors, I'm not too worried about that. One of the problems is there's only one PowerPoint. So I'm thinking putting my industrial machines all in this wall, my pattern table and cutting table in the center, and then my domestic machines there plus some storage. So I'll have to run a PowerPoint kind of all the way around to get to my computer. But yeah, it's coming together nicely. Hands are covered in paint. Okay, so the first coat is on the walls and the ceiling is all done. Also got the first coat on all the woodwork, so the closet, the door and the window. And yeah, so this is how the sewing room's coming along. We've still got to do the doors that are here. We're doing those separately. Yeah, it's looking really nice and white and bright. Okay, I can't remember when I last videoed because this whole past 2 weeks has been so hectic and crazy. But this is the sewing room. This is how it's coming along. So originally we just had the one PowerPoint. Please excuse the wood stain on my fingers. We just had the one. But we got another one put in here and also one here. So my computer desk is going to go on this wall, which is why we needed the PowerPoint there. And this wall is going to have my industrial machines, so I need a PowerPoint for that. And then this wall is going to have my domestic. I have 4 domestics, but I only have plug in one at a time. So that other PowerPoint I think I'll probably use for an iron, which I'll mainly use in the center of the room, where I'm going to have my pattern making table. So yeah, I'm also going to be putting a drawer unit here. And then I want to get some shelving to sit here, but I'm going to get that once the desk is in, so I can kind of get an idea for the size and like spacing of the shelves and how much stuff I'm going to want to put on them, because I don't really know that yet. But here I knew I wanted pegboard, and I kind of already had an idea. I know how big my 2 industrial machines are. They're going to come to probably about there-ish. I'm thinking like they're going to come right to the door almost. So I wanted something that sits right above them. I can have my pattern making ruler so I can easily grab it and come back to the middle table. I can maybe put some spools of bias, I can put my labels, threads, everything up on there. And I have already got those. Yes, from Ikea. So the SCARTUS, I got 4 of these, which are 76 by 56. So it's going to be just over 1.5 meters long and just over 1.20 meter 12, sorry, tall. So yeah, I'm gonna have like 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's gonna be a nice big rectangle. I'm surprised they don't come any bigger than this, but I guess because they are modular, you can kind of like sit them next to each other and stuff. I also got some lamps for the sewing room. So at the moment I have bendable lamps, but one of them doesn't bend quite enough into the machine for me to see very clearly. And they both also have pretty big bases. So I got one which has base probably about like this big, and it's got a really nice flexible kind of top and a good like spotlight, so I can really shine it down into it. So I got 2 of those, one for each of my industrial machines, and then my domestic machines all have lamps built into them, so I don't find I need another lamp pointing into it that much. If I do find the lighting in there isn't as bright as I want, what I might do is I have a standing lamp that goes on the ground which has a bendable top, and I might move that in there if I feel I need to. This is all the other goodies we got from Ikea. So there are some like random things that we like didn't really need, but I thought was cute. But for the SCARDIS, I got this. And I liked this because I thought I could put bias binding rolls and maybe smaller rolls of elastic. I usually buy my elastic in bulk, which has like 25 to 50 meters on it, which would be thicker than this is in diameter. But I could kind of put them on it, and then I can just like pull it off, especially bias, because I often pull that while I'm sewing. I don't pre-cut it. I thought that might be a good idea, so I got one of those. And then I also got one of these, kind of hooks in like that, so I could sit some patterns and stuff up against it, especially patterns I'm working on. At the moment, they currently sit on my pattern desk, which doesn't really work out very well because then I can kind of half my desk is taken up by folders, and I don't get as much room for pattern making. But my idea with this sewing room is to keep that pattern desk as clear as possible, so it's really easy for me to do cutting. It's easy for me to pattern make without worrying about bumping into things or missing things. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And then I also got, I can't remember if I got 1 or 2 of these cups, but it just sits in like a little cup. I thought good for pens, for maybe like little snips, small scissors kind of things. Yeah, I kind of just got a couple of these things, and I figured once I get using it and I work out what exactly really works for me, like maybe this will work out great and I want to get a few more, or maybe this is like really working, you know, I can buy more of them. I don't think Ikea will be getting rid of it anytime soon. Well, I hope not. And then I got one of these, which is a little bag, and I kind of thought that was cute. I could put my so like hooks on like that, and you've got a little bag. I could put current projects and stuff in there, like patterns plus some fabric and the trims for it or something. I only got one of these because I'm not sure how much I'll use it, but I really like the idea of it. The only thing is that it's grey and they didn't have any other colours, and this is kind of boring for my sewing room. We've actually got a few colours like this going into the house. Like there's a lampshade over there, which is a similar grey, and like our blinds up there are a similar grey. But for my sewing room, I want something light and pretty and fun. So I'm probably going to make a cover for that. And then I just got some of the clips that they have. I thought this would be good. Again, just putting up notes and stuff as well. Maybe some sketches or ideas, inspiration. So I think I got a couple of those. And then I got some hooks too. I want to put my scissors on these, and yeah, my rotary blade and stuff. And I got some of these drawer kind of cup things. I thought these would be good for threads and also labels. So I got 2 sets of these because I really liked these. And I also got a little tray. So I thought this would be good to put like my tape measure on, and anything else that doesn't really fit on a hook or in a cup. And yeah. So where we are now, obviously floors, walls, everything is done. It was a big transformation in terms of tearing up carpet and painting it. We put new blinds in, put up some shelving, and got all the furniture in, which was a big task. This desk is really heavy, and also these 2 machines are really heavy. So I've got it all organised. I've got my pegboard up, and so I kind of wanted a good workflow. So I've got threads above the machine so I can kind of grab them and go. I got this little basket for projects that I'm currently working on, so I don't just have zips or, you know, lace or whatever it needs to go on it floating around. it's in its spot. Again, it's just above the machine, so I can reach up, grab it, and it's done. I've got my labels here, so they're easy to grab while I'm still sitting at the machine. I've got like my unpicker and feet for the machine and everything there as well. And then I've got scissors, so the cutting table is here. So I can grab a pair of scissors I need. Also, if I'm working here and I need to cut off some excess fabric, they're all up there. And pens and stuff as well for pattern making or for marking on the fabric. And then in front of the overlocker, I have a few overlocking spools sitting there. And then I've got all my pattern making stuff. So I've got my pattern rulers, I've got my notes. I've been trying to be a bit more organized when pattern making. So I made up this like little tech sheet. So I can write the name of it, what fabric I'm using, if it's like a particular pattern I'm using, like if I'm using someone else's pattern or if it's one of my patterns, put that in there, and then a description of it as well. And then I've got a little drawing there, so if I want to draw it, especially if I'm doing my own pattern, it is important that I do a drawing so I know where I'm putting darts, where I'm putting seam lines and everything. And then I've got pattern pieces. Again, this is really important if I'm making one of my patterns, which I more often do. Especially when I go to then digitize that pattern. If it's a pattern I decide I want to put in my range, I need to know how many pattern pieces there are. I need to know their names, I need to know their cutting instructions, and it's stuff at the moment I either have to go back and reference a pattern piece or I have to just know off the top of my head. But this will just mean I've got a sheet there, all the information's there. And same with the assembly. Usually with the assembly, when I'm writing it up for my patterns that I sell, I kind of just go through my head the steps of what I do. But this way I can write it down as I'm going and I know exactly kind of what to do. And then I got a little notes section down the bottom. So I want to get better at doing that and just keeping things a little bit more organized to save me time in the long run. I also got this really handy thing from Ikea, which has bias and elastic on it. And they fit really nicely, and they're just super helpful having that right next to the machine, because I used to just have them like sitting on this. But then if I sewed something that was big, it would just get in the way. Also got these two lamps from Ikea, which are really handy. I'm still yet to get my proper chair for in here. My dad's making me one which can go up to sitting height for this, as well as sitting height for the sewing machines. I have my desk set up. I'm watching Bridgerton right now. So this, I really need to organize, but pretty much this is where I'm going to digitize all my patterns, as well as this is like chill zone if I just want to play some Sims or whatever it is on the computer. That's set up. So this is kind of more business side as well as fun. And then this side of the room is more like sewing, crafty. In the wardrobe, it's a bit of a mess. It's just kind of been storing stuff out of the way at the moment. Got some knitting stuff down there, which I'll probably keep in the closet because I don't grab it very often. But I'd like to put it in a tub, not just in the bags, kind of, because they just fall around a lot easier. And then up the top, I've stored my leathers just because they're on rolls and I don't want them getting folds and stuff in them in a box. Also my knitting machine up there, and I have some books which are just up there to keep out of the way. Those are going to be moved. So I'm probably going to keep the knitting machine up there. I also got a Cricut machine, which I'm thinking I'm probably going to keep up there because I don't really have anywhere else for it right now. Unless I put it like behind the desk, behind the computer or something. But that's kind of nice and out of the way. So I might move the leathers. I might actually get like a little basket or something I can store them in upright, or I just want them in a way which isn't going to damage them. And then here I've got my mannequins, which when I did markets I took, and I've just kept them in case I need them for display or anything. And I've got a few sample pieces for my brand, and this is where I'm going to keep all my sample pieces and all my toiles. And then down the bottom I'm thinking tubs for all my scraps that I use. My brand Zero Waste, and I use all my fabric scraps, so I keep them all in tubs and stuff, so I'm going to keep them down there so that they're easy to grab and use. And then the shelves are all looking pretty good. I want to go through and replace these older things because they're kind of falling apart. Folders, that's the word I was looking for, and replace them with new nice ones. So I'm probably going to do that eventually. Just every time I go to Officeworks, I pick up a couple more folders to replace them. So I've got all my patterns, and then I've got my pattern books and pattern notes, and then I have more patterns. Those are all my brand ones, and then I have my uni notes, which occasionally come in handy, and then I have more patterns all along there. Up top I have my fabric book, so where my fabric collection kind of is stored, like all the info on it. And then these are all swatches I have from when I was interning, and I find them really good to reference when I'm designing something, or yeah, if I'm looking for a particular fabric or something, I know I can bring that kind of sample along and I've got something there, easier than just verbally trying to describe the fabric. And then in there is all my stuff I have to put together patterns, so the folders and all that kind of papery stuff that I need when I'm folding them up. On the desk right now is all my laces and elastics and trims, and I'm just cutting up bits of cardboard to go in the drawer. So I pull stuff out of these, most of them, not all of them yet. Some of them still have some stuff. So I'm going to reorganize all of this. So these are going to go in the drawers. Like so. I'm going to cut them in half so they're only half this height, and I'm going to wrap my trims around them. I just find that's the easiest way because then I can still see the trim. I have some which are on older bits of card. It just fell off. That's alright. So they can kind of just sit like that and I can easily see what I've got. Yeah, so that's good. And then over here I'm keeping my cover stitch and my embroidery machine. And then I've got my old domestic machine and my old overlocker, which I really don't use these very much. These two I'm going to make a cover for. I'm probably going to make a cover for all my machines so that if I do go a couple of weeks without sewing, they are protected. But these two, I've just got them tucked down there right now. I might actually put them kind of one either side because I'll be getting rid of that step ladder. But in here I've got my embroidery threads, which again I wanted to kind of try to think of the workflow. I find sometimes when I'm organising I just kind of go, well, where does it fit and where does it look neat? And I do that and not really consider, well, is that a practical place for me to put it? Like for example, all my buttons currently are just stored in bags, and they've got their labels of like what they are, and that's really great, except for the fact that they just end up mushed up in here and I can't tell what's what. Something like this is kind of better where it's a hard box, it's nothing that's pushed around. So I'm going to think on that one. And it's same with like the laces. At the moment, the laces I did card some of them up, but then like they're all just stacked in here on top of each other with things like on top of it, and I can't actually see what's there. So that's really not very practical, and I end up never using any of these laces, even though I've got some really nice ones in here. So yeah, the whole idea is that everything's visible, everything's easy to use, easy to grab, good to go. So yeah, with the embroidery threads, so I put them right in front of the embroidery machine, so they're just easy to use. Then I've got overlocking here, and behind this I have woolly nylon and invisible thread. I never use invisible thread, I hate it, but I do keep it just in case I have the odd project that absolutely needs it. The woolly nylon I don't use too much, but I am going to be using more kind of swimwear and activewear stuff, which I will need it for. And then in this one is all just overlocking threads. I don't know if this is the best way to store these, but I've got my cover stitch here, which is what I use it on, and over here there isn't heaps of storage for overlocking threads. I used to have them in this desk, but this desk doesn't house an overlocker or any machine which needs those threads, so it doesn't make sense to have it over there. And over here I've got black and white, which is mostly all I use when overlocking, unless the colour's very, very kind of clashing with the white or the black, I'll change it. So I've got like a blue over here at the moment, but the idea is that I'll probably swap those blues out for whatever project I'm working on that needs a specific colour. So that's how it's coming along. The threads are all nicely rainbow ordered. I really love that. And yeah, some of these patterns and stuff I need to go through, but I'm kind of at the stage where I'm really over it and I just want everything to have a home. Like they have a home, they're great there, and then if I feel like you know, they're getting a bit disorganized down the track, I'll sort it out. But once all of this stuff's done, because they're in a usable state, and if it's in a usable state, I'm happy. I do have my pin board, which I'm probably going to put up here, and then I've got a few pieces of artwork which are just sitting on the windowsill, and those I want to go up on this wall, along with my calendar for the year, so I kind of have it all organised. And yeah, I'm happy with how this is coming along, and I'll keep you updated once it's all fully ready. Oh, I also should point out, it stopped recording because it does that sometimes, but I wanted to point out that I actually made some new covers for these. So these were just old bits of foam, so these ones still have the old ones on them, but this machine was quite old and the foam had basically all worn away and was deteriorated and really gross. And they're just to kind of like help hold it and stop it rattling too much and kind of hold it in place. So I got a bit of felt in a nice kind of pinky purple. And yeah, and that's part of this room. I really wanted to add, I want it to be clean and white in most areas, but then add like the touches of my personality in like the pinky purple, and then I've got like the pink bobbin holder, I've got the purple, and then like the blue. So I wanted like little touches of colour. I find when I'm working on a project, I prefer like a white backing just so I can have like a really crisp idea of like that project. But these are colours that I use all the time, so and I'll probably reflect like the pink and the aqua and the purple in the case, the covers for the sewing machines. So I'm going to get going on that, and she's handy because she wheels around, so I kind of had her tucked over here. And that's probably where I'll keep her most of the time, but I can easily like drag her in next to the machine if I want to be draping and sewing at the same time or something, or next to the pattern table if I need to be measuring and referencing something. I also got a mirror put up behind the door, and don't worry, the door handle doesn't hit it, so that I can do some self fittings and check in how things are fitting without going to a whole other room. Oh, I also got this cute little crate. It actually folds up. I can't show you right now because it's full of stuff, but it folds in and kind of flats down to be only that thick, and I really like that to keep projects and like cut pieces in. So I've got the project in there right now, which I was just keeping in a bag, but in a bag they kind of get a bit mucked up because the bag squishes and everything. But like, I've got these pieces up here cut out, and it'd be great to keep them all secure in one area, because the amount of times I've cut something out and then I'm missing one piece because it's disappeared happens a lot. So having a crate that I can kind of, if I have to put a project aside, I usually like to just continuously work on a project until it's done, but if I have to put it aside, like in this instance I did, then I can put it aside knowing it's going to be fine, it's going to be safe, but then I can pack that crate away and put it away, you know, up here or wherever the hell I choose to store it, until the next project. Okay, so the sewing room is pretty much tidy. It's about as tidy as I think I'm going to get it in order to get this video out. I'm really happy with how it's looking. I'll kind of go through how I organised everything, and sort of my idea. I really wanted to get a good workflow happening in here, and I wanted a pattern table and cutting table in the centre of the room, and part of that is because when I'm laying fabrics out, it's nice to be able to kind of drape them over each end of the table, and also be able to like move around it when I'm cutting and stuff, because otherwise I kind of end up flipping the pieces and things don't get cut out quite as accurately. And I needed my I wanted my two industrial machines next to each other, because those two are the ones I use the most, and I kind of go between straight stitch and overlocker back and forth. And then I wanted a home for my other sewing machines. I also wanted good shelving for all my patterns and books, and I already had this drawer unit, but I wanted that to be reorganised a lot better. I also didn't have my computer in my old sewing space, but now I've got it back in my sewing room, which is super handy because I can kind of go back and forth between working on stuff on my computer and sewing. So yeah, this is the room. I'm really happy with how it's looking. So I've got a nice mirror behind the door there so I can check fittings and everything. And then got my industrial machine. I've just got the thread snips hanging up here. I might move those, I don't know, I'll see how I feel. On the desk at the moment I'm actually working on some stuff, so it's not super neat. I'm currently sewing some stuff, some for myself, some for my brand, so I kind of need to get started on that before I can film my progress of tidying. I've got some pens and pencils here, sticky tape, some little weights, all just for pattern making, and then I've got some little jar of all these vintage giant safety pins, some metal pins in here, and then my little owl, which has actually got a broken wing, which has needles and threads. And then underneath I've got the fabric. So this is what I want to kind of get sorted, and I think the only way to sort it is to use the fabric. I think that it's the most practical way to sort it. Yeah, so I'm going to try to, my aim is not to buy any more fabric until I use all of this fabric. So it's going to be tough, but I can do it. I believe in myself. So I've just got kind of regular fabrics in here. There's not really any rhyme or reason to them. These ones are all ones I've probably bought more recently, and they're kind of ones I want to use up right now as well. In this plastic tub I have all my lingerie making stuff. I buy a lot of kits like this one, which I didn't get to put in the tub before I piled everything on top of it, so I just left it next to it. So yeah, I put that all in there, and I'm kind of happy leaving that here, because it does look quite neat just in there. My kind of goal is to work through all of this fabric, empty this out, minus the interfacing drawer and the toile fabric drawer. If I can work through all of this and then just have a tub of lingerie stuff, kind of my fabrics that I most recently bought that I want to use up right now, that's kind of my idea for how this will work. And then coming around the other side, I should mention as well, I'm getting a chair that can go from a tall height to the regular height. I haven't got that yet. My dad's actually making that for me. So at the moment I've just got both of these chairs in here, which isn't ideal, just because it means there's more clutter in here, but I'll move them around and sort that out eventually. So around here I've got my shelves, desk with sewing machines, and then the drawers. Oh, also note, I got this really cool stick-on tape measure. There you go, now you can see it, which I actually have on my sewing machines, and I always reference this when I'm sewing. I measure elastic and cut it or whatever it is, and I thought it would be really handy to have it here, especially if I pull a piece of fabric out and maybe want to measure how much or something. It's all there. I don't have to get my tape measure from around my neck. But up here is all of my pattern stuff. So I've got my patterns, my pattern making books, more patterns, my brand's patterns, patterns. They're all sorted into kind of like categories. I've got dresses, tops, bottoms, and then I've got vintage patterns. I've got one for Misk, which is like bags and stuff like that. And then on the front, I've written what patterns are in there. I have tucked in like a couple of brand new patterns that I just bought recently, that I need to sort out. I also just put like, I've got all these little vintage goodies from my nana and stuff, so I put those there, including this super cute tape measure, which is actually like cloth, but it's got like little metal ends, and I wouldn't trust it to measure anything anymore. I would imagine it would probably be out of shape, but I thought it looked kind of cute just hanging there. And then I've got my Copic markers because they're in a really big box and they're hard to kind of put away somewhere. And then I've got my Pantone colours. I've got some threads sitting here because I didn't have space for them. And I've got my little mannequin there. Here I've got another little pin cushion, another little vintage kind of sewing kit thing. It's a really cute little book that has like hook and eyes, snaps, and like pins, needles, all kind of good things. It's really cute. I wish they actually did things like this nowadays, especially in such cute packaging. Then I've got my notes, which I use when I'm pattern making. This is a little bag that I take with me if I'm going to like sit on the couch and do some sewing. So I just put like needles and threads in there. And then I've got this cute little koala painting that my sister did. She did 2 others as well, which I'm probably going to bring in here. I still need to kind of clean this up a little bit. Like this thread shouldn't be here. I need to find something to put in this jar. This I'll probably put over the other side. So there's a little bit of like nitpicky stuff I need to go through. And the machines, like I still have some covers sitting here and some little boxes. I need to go through those because I want to make up new covers for all my machines. So I'm going to keep those so I can find the right shape for it. I've just stuck like these little rubber doodad things that hold cables there, so I can easily like pull up the right cable for the right machine. And then tucked in here I've got my ironing board and my tracing violin, which I use for my patterns. This I need to mount on the wall, just a little pin board. I had it mounted that way, like flipped up last time, so everything's kind of on the wrong way, but I will sort it out once I get it up. And then I've got my big spools of elastic. They're just too big to store anywhere else. So I've got them sitting up here. These are like the elastics I use the most regularly, or I'll buy a whole roll if I'm using a certain sized elastic for my range. Underneath here I've got some Cricut supplies, so a couple of cutting mats and some foils. They're just too big. I wanted them to go in these drawers, but they were too big, so they live up in this little top bit. And then first drawer I've got beading. I want to make some like little labels for the drawers so I can remember what's in them. So beading supplies, and then embroidery supplies. I do have all these loose embroidery threads which I want to put on cards, so all these ones in these boxes are on these little cards. And then I've put some loose ones in there as well. I kind of want to put them all on cards, but that's a sit in front of the TV for like 3 hours kind of project, and I don't have time for that right now. And then I've got all my trims. I put them in here on cards, all facing up, so I can see everything I've got quite easily and just pull out whatever I need whenever I need it. And yeah, again, I want to like make little labels. I did have some from when I had organised this the last time, but now that it's changed, I want to take these off and change it. And then in here I have my zippers. The zippers I found hard to organise. They just don't like being sorted, I find. I don't know. If anybody has a really good way to store zippers, let me know. Pretty much I just put them in bags of the right sizes. So I've got like 10 to 15, and then I have this bag of 10 which are all the same zip. And then I have 18 centimeters and so on. So it definitely works, and because I usually grab a zip based on the size. So I kind of just got that organized like that. And then back here I have all my dies, fabric markers, fabric paints, kind of stuff. And then in here I have just random like embellishments. So either trims that came on spools like these and this couple of ribbons, or like patches and stuff that like are just more embellishment type things. And I've got them all in these drawers that I can pull out, so I can just like grab this whole tub out and dig through, find whatever I need. That one's probably my least favourite drawer. One, because it's like not perfect, and also this, it was really hard to organise these because they weren't all like neat trims that could go on cards. They're all like odd shaped things, and like they kind of had to be just like piled in there. So I've like tried to sort it somewhat, but there's a few things just sitting on top of each other, which means I can't see everything in there easily, but hopefully I can remember. And then in here I have buttons. So my buttons were all just in bags before, but now I've put them in tubs. So I do need to make some labels for these, but I've put like white and cream together, then like metal. I've got like, I think this is like green and yellow ones in here, and then I've got purple ones and pink ones down there, so kind of all in like colour groups. Back here I have some bias binding. I didn't put these on cards, some of them were already on cards, but I did roll them all up so that I can see kind of what I've got. Yeah, and then here I've got like hardware kind of jean buttons down there. See, I need to change all these labels because that's not accurate. I've got more like hardware, bagware kind of stuff. And these colours just so they're just sitting on top for now. And then in here I've got elastic, so I've got these 2 bags of mask elastic. I'm just kind of keeping on top because hopefully I'll use them up soon. But all the elastics, and again I just kind of had them poking up. I didn't put them on cards or anything, but I have them all visible so I can see what I've got quite easily and grab what I need. And then in the last drawer I have some tubs of like various sewing goodies, so hooks and eyes, machine needles, hanging needles. These ones I didn't really change the tubs up too much from the last time I organised it. I've got buckles, snap buttons. Back here I just kind of have things that didn't really fit anywhere else, like my horsehair braid, which is quite big, some anti-static spray, some spare tape measures, and then this tub is all like various goodies. They're just kind of misc items. I've got shoulder pads, I've got bra cups, I've got like mending patches, cotton tape, hemming web, just like all that random stuff. And then back here I have eyelets and big snap fastener, kind of like hardware stuff. And again, they're all in these tubs that I can easily like take out, move around, which is what I like because it means I can easily access it all. It also means nothing like falls behind the drawer or like gets hidden in the drawer. There's still a little bit to tidy up here. This is just stuff that I need to sort. Like I said, the room's not perfect, but it's pretty good and it's good enough for me to feel like I can leave it for a while. This is interfacing and toile fabric that just didn't quite fit in those 2 back drawers. So we just got it in here for now. Hopefully I will use it up quickly so I don't have a random tub. These rolls need to go out in the garage, but I don't have that set up yet, so they're just living here now. They're not offending anyone, so it's fine. And then in here I have a whole heap of stuff. I have fabrics up here which I need to use up. I need to use these up before I can buy any fabric. And then I have my knitting machine. I've got some old pencil cases. I've got my knitting stuff in those 3 bags. I'd like to probably get a tub or something to store all of that in, just because I find like the bags are pretty good but they're soft and squishy, so I'd rather have something rigid to store them in. And then I've got some trims up there. They're just way too big to fit in any drawer because it's a big fur or faux fur trim. And then down the bottom here I have some scrap tubs. I've got a few more of these, so I'm going to line them up. I've got some ironing stuff, tailor's ham. Then I have my leather in a bag here. Again, I might get like a basket or something, some sort of tub, like long thin thing to store those in. But we'll see how I go. I don't know where I'll find something that's quite right. And then I have some fabric which is for my latest summer collection in there. I have a few other pieces I need to cut out, so I'm just leaving that there for now. I've got my camera stuff, which again I probably want to put in like a box or something. I've got some stuffing, and then I've got my roll of plastic to wrap these rolls in. So that's not going to live there. The stuffing I'll probably eventually move up here, like next to the knitting stuff, but I need to use up all that stuff first. Same with the camera stuff. I'll move that up here. And the leather I'll probably keep down the bottom with the tubs, and then yeah, so I'll have like tubs and then the leather. So yeah, and then I'll hang up toiles and samples and stuff up here. But it's nice because this kind of closes up, so there's no mess anymore. You can't even see it. On the desk I haven't hung up any pictures yet, but I have a calendar, a couple embroideries, and a picture there. This I just put here full of stuff I need to sort out. So that's where I'm very notorious for just kind of putting stuff on my desk because I need to sort it out. But I want to put it in here so at least it's out of the way so I can still do stuff while working out what to do with all of this. Got pens, pencils, the usual desk stuff. I've got my Cricut machine. I decided to put it back here. Just thought it would probably be a bit safer. I do want to get a cover for it just so it doesn't get dusty while I'm not using it. Got my phone charger. These don't live here. That's just because I was using it last night. Then I've got my computer. Yeah, that's my sewing room. I think that's pretty much it. I think I've shown everything. Yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out. When I think of how this room was at the start, like the gross old carpet, the yellow walls, like it's so nice and cream. It's so nice and white and clean and like, oh, just, yeah. And the light that comes in here is perfect. Like I don't have any lights on right now and it's really good lighting even for sewing. So yeah, I'm very happy with how this has turned out. I hope you liked this video. I honestly, because I filmed this over such a long period of time, I can't even remember like what I've shown and what I've not shown, so hopefully I've shown everything. I might like go back and refilm some stuff if there's something important missing. Yeah, but I hope you enjoyed this. I hope maybe it gives you some ideas for your own sewing room, or if you have any suggestions on like, especially like the zips, that's the one that's stopping me. Yeah, let me know. And thank you for watching. Subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and yeah, thanks so much for watching. Bye.